What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So I did want to jump back onto Most Wanted for one more car that I had to include in this because, well, a lot of these vehicles, what a bad start to that, wasn't it? Wasn't even looking. But I feel like a lot of these vehicles are not in new Need for Speed games, guys. And there's one car I cannot stop thinking about. The Hennessey Venom GT. This thing is absolutely insane looking. And I would say it's going to be the size of a small bus because it's legit huge. But even then, though, I feel like this car would have been so dope having this in newer Need for Speed games, and it really does make me wonder, where is it? So like the other videos, though, I am going to jump into one of the most wanted ones. Let's do the Bugatti, because why not? Quick little 2-mile drive there. But I did see something about this car having like an LS7 in it or something, which is obviously going to make it pretty insane. Apparently, it's like a V8. Let me look at my notes real quick because I don't remember. It is a 7.0 liter twin turbocharged LS7 V8. Now that's what I was looking for, and I'm a terrible driver. But I would say right now, though, having this car in this game, guys, now I think I could be right here. This was the last Need for Speed game with the Venom. I don't think it was in Rivals. I have to check it. I don't think it was. And I know for a fact it obviously wasn't in 2015 or, any of the new Need for Speed games, which is kind of unfortunate. It would have been so dope to have a car like this in Heat or something like Unbound. But I do feel like there was most likely something going on with like licensing or some type of reason why this car was most likely not in those games. Now, the Hennessey Venom is obviously going to be a pretty unique looking vehicle, and I would say this car has not been made in a straight minute. They are now making the F5, which I hope to see that car in a racing game. I'm going to predict it right now again. I think that car is going to show up in Motorfest. It's definitely a possibility. Is it going to be in a Need for Speed game? Well, I don't know, man. I just feel like a lot of these cars are just not in newer Need for Speed games for some reason. It's kind of funny because you can actually see like the involvingness of like all the games coming out. You see different things being added to each one. You also see cars being added and then also removed, bro. Like, it's just so weird how certain games have these cars and other ones don't. I even made the video about the Lexus LFA. I also made the video about the Bach Mono. Like, imagine having these cars in new racing games, man. Like, I want them in Need for Speed. Really hoping Need for Speed 2026 actually has it. And what in the Transformers am I looking at, bro? What in the world is this? It looks like really weird. Okay, well, it's obviously a Bugatti there. There's another car, bro. The Bugatti's not even in new racing games anymore. Like, yeah, I know the Chiron's obviously in Unbound, but, like, where's the Super Sport, bro? Like, where's the Veyron at? Why did they actually remove these cars from the game? I really do want to know that. Another car I was actually going to make a video on. I'm most likely not going to. Unless you guys do want me to do it, let me know in the comments below. But the other car is going to be the Koenigsegg Agera R, bro. Why is every single Need for Speed game now having the regular Regera? Where's the Agera R at, bro? Like, I just don't understand why these games are not having these cars in there. I really do feel like these cars were so iconic, as far as I know, the Venom GT is not in any racing game probably besides Forza, if I was guessing. I also do know this car was in Drive Club. I remember driving it on there. But besides that, though, there just isn't any open world games like this one where it's in there. Bring these cars back to new Need for Speed games, man. We need it. This car is so dope. It also looks incredibly unique with the way it looks like a small bus. But man, was this thing so dang fast, bro. I think on this game it hit well over 250 miles an hour with long gears on it, so it was quick. And it was probably one of the fastest supercars in this game that you can run. Obviously right behind me crashing into a car. And there goes the Bugatti scooting by. But it was probably pretty much around the speed of a Bugatti or even something like the Koenigsegg. Like, this thing was that quick. The acceleration on this car basically shot your eyeballs into the back of your head as well, which was always a fun experience in a racing game, having sense of speeds like that, to where you obviously can enjoy that vehicle, go insanely quick, and go, dang, bro, this thing is actually quick. Like, it's crazy how fast it gets up to speed. Now, for me right now, though, on this thing, I am obviously using a regular Short Gears Pro on it, because I figured that would be a good way for the acceleration to really pop. But man, though, like, it's hard for me not to think about this, guys. I want to see cars like this in more games, like, seriously. And it really does make you wonder, like, what happens with licensing and stuff to why some of these games do end up not showing up in them. Or it's most likely going to be the fact of, yeah, they paid for the licensing, then it's up, and they obviously can't have the car in, like, a different game, or maybe they bought that license for just that game, and they obviously cannot use it for the other ones. But man, like, we really do need some of these crazy car lists to come back, guys. I would love to see this car return. Is it possible? I would really like to hope so. I mean, I feel like the Venom can obviously make a return in a Need for Speed game. We all do know right now, like, the new Need for Speed games are definitely different than Need for Speed Most Wanted. I mean, for example, back then in this game, there's obviously no engine swaps or any of that crazy customization. Now the new Need for Speed games obviously have a lot more stuff to do in them, and there's also a lot more customization. So you'd actually want to ask, well, if this car was in the game, could you engine swap it? Could I actually put that engine in my Miata? Because that would be crazy, where some vehicles actually allow you to do something like that. I just feel like being able to have all of those options would make players go, you know what, bro? Add every car into this game, man. We need all of them. Seriously, it really is going to make it that much better. And now we must take down the lovely Bugatti Veyron Supersport, which I would say with the acceleration on this thing, good driving there, buddy. That was a good start to the event there. Where you at? Oh, you're on that side now. Okay. Come here, boy. I would say with the acceleration on the Venom, it should be pretty easy to catch him. Probably one... See. And there it is. That was exactly as simple as I thought it was going to be. Now, I'm also going to do a second most wanted event here in the lovely Venom because I figured why not with this car. We're driving it now. Might as well do another race and talk about it a bit more. Now, one of my favorite things about the Venom, though, I have to say it. It's probably going to be the way this car looked, bro. Like, it's just so unique. Have I seen one in real life? No, but I also feel like most people are probably never going to see a Venom GT in real life. Let me know in the comments below if you guys have seen one of these. I mean, here in Florida, I have definitely not seen a Venom GT. What's insane, though, is I actually did end up seeing the new Venom F5 showing up at one of the dealerships in Miami. That thing was absolutely insane, bro. Really hope to see that car show up in new racing games. Like, I really do think it will come in Motorfest. Will it be in Need for Speed? I don't know, man. With the way the licensing on some of these games are, I would probably say hopefully, but same time, probably not. All right, so let's head over to Most Wanted Cars here. You know what we have to do, bro? Let's do the Agera R. Might as well. Let's just get the Agera R done. Head over to that location here in the lovely Venom. Should get me there pretty quick in this car. Now, one takeaway I was thinking about, though, is do you guys actually think some of these cars don't show up in Need for Speed because of a balancing issue? Now, I was talking about before we obviously have engine swaps and stuff like that. Do you think that plays a role? I just feel like they probably could balance the cars out a bit. That way they do fit it. And maybe they can make it so you can't engine swap the car with other ones or something like that. Like, for example, the Regera, you can't put anything in that car, put like a different motor in it. And I do know the Ferrari FXXK Evo that was in Need for Speed Heat, you also can't do anything to that car either. So maybe that could be one way to do it. Like, yeah, we have this really fast supercar, make it so we can actually use it, and that way it is unique to that part of the motor. Then again, they might have issues balancing something like that where a car is insanely quick accelerating, it's really good at handling and stuff like that. It's probably going to be a pretty hard car to balance. So now jumping into the Koenigsegg Agera R, I did not actually realize this race was going to be almost 10 miles when I started it. Turns out I guess it's going to be a pretty long event to get the Koenigsegg, which would make sense, considering that's basically like one of the best cars in the entire game. But I did want to talk about this for a minute, guys. So we all do know right now most new Need for Speed games are obviously getting different car lists, and it really does make me think on what they're going to do in the new one coming out in 2026. Like, are we going to have a new car list with a bunch of new vehicles, like maybe Toyotas in there, maybe Lexus with like the LFA, maybe we're going to get some Bugattis in there, maybe we're going to have some cars you just normally don't really see all that often. Also, you know you don't see that often? Me not crashing because I'm pretty bad at that. But besides that though, I'm now going to be on the last 3 miles of this lovely event versus the Koenigsegg. Funny thing is, I feel like that car is oddly slow, at least racing against it. Then again, maybe the Hennessey Venom is just that quick. Probably a possibility. But does anybody else want to see Hennessey show up in these racing games? Also, guys, let me know in the comments below what are some of your favorite cars or even like your top 2 or 3 vehicles that you would love to see show up in the future Need for Speed games. Now, this can legitimately be any car you guys actually want or just haven't seen a racing game in a minute. It's kind of funny, like looking back to the old Need for Speed games, we have the Venom GT here. We also have something like the Lexus LFA, the Cataram, Bachmano, we have the Bugattis, we have all kinds of vehicles we just don't see in the new games. It really is odd to me, man. But hey, look, we are finally at the end of this race, but we still have to take down the Koenigsegg, which I would probably guess is not going to be that difficult. The Hennessey Venom is probably one of the craziest cars I've ever used in this game. Even to this day, guys, playing Most Wanted 12 years after it came out, this thing is still going to be one of my favorite cars in this game. I really do hope to see this car make a return, hopefully in the future. Whether this thing shows up in Motorfest or the new F5 shows up in Motorfest, whether we see something like the regular Venom GT here show up somewhere, I really do hope this car does actually make a return. Is it? Well, to be honest, I guess only time is going to tell. Now, where is the Most Wanted driver at? I did crash, so now he's gone. Should spawn in somewhere, I think. No? Well, I guess I lost him. Where you at, Koenigsegg? Where you is? My Hennessy wants to hunt you down. Where? I'm just gonna keep driving. Maybe he'll show up somewhere. I'll come around this way. I don't want to go into... Nice. Yeah, you know, I did notice this car does crash a lot, though. Like, barely touching stuff, it legit just dies. Wait, is that the Koenigsegg? Hey, there it is. Dang, bro, he gone. Bro just decided to skirt away from me like that. I see how it is. But you know what, guys? I have to say this again. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the Hennessey Venom GT. Would you also like to see the GT in Need for Speed? Or would you like to see the F5 show up in Need for Speed and also Motorfest? I really would like to know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And I also do want to mention something. I have been doing like a different style of content recently. So I'm not sure how many videos I will end up doing on Most Wanted, but there is definitely going to be one after this video, most likely going over why this was one of the most hated Need for Speed games currently to this day.